Hi, everyone, and welcome to another week of NECA Live. My name is David Meade. Thank you all for joining us one way or another, whether you are watching us live on LinkedIn every Monday or listening as part of the NECA Live podcast every single Thursday. We are proud to be part of the NECA podcast network, featuring other incredible shows such as Innovation Overload, Labored Thoughts, or Think Like a Leader. All phenomenal episodes that I encourage you to take some time to check out. There is a lot of amazing stuff on the podcast network, so make sure you give them all a listen and tell your friends, your colleagues, your postman. They're all going to learn something. Today, our focus is on one of NECA's premier partner companies, Milwaukee Tool. As you may know, NECA's premier partner program is one of the greatest benefits that we provide to our members. It connects them to leading solution providers in the electrical construction industry. And I know that premier partners are a fundamental part of the DNA of NECA. It is the most comprehensive business-to-business marketing and sales opportunity the industry has to offer. And these companies showcase their brands, their products, and their services to the electrical construction industry through NECA's events, their publications, and of course, their digital platforms like here on NECA Live. Since Milwaukee Tool began all the way back in 1924, they've helped lead the industry in developing innovative solutions that deliver increased productivity and durability for professional construction users. Those of us with NECA know Milwaukee Tool really well. I recognize their beautiful branding from all of the work that I've done with NECA in the past. They've been a premier partner all the way back since 2009, and today it is my pleasure to speak to Joel Petersheim, Director of Electrical Jobsite Solutions at Milwaukee Tool. Joel, it is great to have you join us. How are things?
It is great to be here, David. Things are great here in Pittsburgh. It's certainly been a roller coaster of weather here in the Northeast, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today and talking to the viewers today.
Well, it is great to have the opportunity to catch up with you. Now, fun fact, Joel, I am a distant relative of the Rooney family. So are you a Steelers fan? Can we be friends?
I grew up on the eastern part of Pennsylvania, so I am an Eagles fan living in Steelers country. I have begun to embrace the Steelers, though, so I can get behind their team and the local sports here. I mean, if you're not wearing either your church garb or a Steelers jersey on Sunday, you don't fit in around here.
You simply don't fit in. Well, look, I know as soon as the borders open again, I want to get straight over to Primanti Brothers for one of the best, most addictive sandwiches I have ever had. But for the time being, Joel, Milwaukee Tool has been a really familiar and friendly presence, part of the personality of NECA events for a long time now. Anyone who has attended convention has no doubt seen your huge, monstrous, massive, it's the size of Belfast stand at the convention, and I'm sure they paid a visit. So let's go back to the very beginning though. Tell me a little bit about Milwaukee Tool, about how they support the industry and why NECA has been such a good partner.
Yeah, it's crazy you said at the beginning of this conversation that 1924 was when our brand started, and all the way back then we really thought about how can we do things and disrupt specific industries. Back then it was the automobile industry. And then fast forward to the 50s and 60s, it was really our entry into this electrical trade. And, products like the right angle drill, the Sawzall a couple years later, these products really helped us build a brand and helped us build a reputation within electrical of providing solutions. Over the past 14 years, though, we've really looked at how can we disrupt the electrical trades. And over the past 14 years, we've really focused on being what we'd call a true solutions provider across the board, from providing the opportunity for a completely cordless job site to offering all the hand tools, accessories that an electrician needs. Our promise is that we want to make sure that we're listening to the contractor. We've got the industry in mind to really to provide these disruptive solutions for the electrician. From an overall industry standpoint, we want to be sure that we're helping the contractor, but also helping support the entire industry, from Electrical Training Alliance to our support of the IBW to our efforts with Electric. It's all about making sure we're connected and providing value with each of these groups to show our support holistically. Electrical's really been such a priority for Milwaukee because it's one of the trades that really got us to where we're at today. So we're really happy to support the electrician, and really it makes us proud to be a partner of NECA.
It's a partnership that obviously works for everyone involved. And I've got to ask, Joel, you mentioned their disruption, about looking at things differently. It's been a heck of a 12 months for everyone. How have you and the team at Milwaukee navigated all of the change?
Yeah, I think, for a lot of people, it was a challenge. And, I think it was the end of March, I took my last trip for the past 14 months. And, during that time, we all had to shift. And the great thing about where we're at today is technology helped provide that shift for us. And, as a company, we really embraced the virtual world. We're still able to really connect with our customers as much as we'd want to be there in person. It provides the opportunity to do so safely. I think the one thing when it comes to virtual support, we took it seriously in 2020, and we really said, even if we can't be there in person, how do we continue to drive value? How do we continue to provide support for the electrical industry? So you saw us at a lot of company virtual events where we were providing webinars. Our field team was providing localized trainings virtually that we've never really done in the past. And it really helped us to continue to connect with our contractors and the electricals across the country.
And that connection really matters. It's one of the reasons why here at NECA, we decided to do these NECA Lives, just to get closer to some of our members when we couldn't be together in person. And it is great to see so many people coming and saying hello. We have got Mahesh coming in and saying hello from Illinois. Great to have you. Dustin is in Utah. Theron is in Venetia, PA. Lovely Pete, who has been on a few episodes. Great to see you, Pete. Graham Gibbons is with us as well. We've got tons of people coming in from all across the US and even further beyond. And I think it's innovative solutions like this, Joel, that help us connect as an industry, as a sector, as a community. But what about in Milwaukee? You guys have been at the forefront of innovation for so long now. How do you actually drive those innovation efforts? How do you make sure that you're always at the cutting edge?
Yeah, this is a great question. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we had our senior vice president, Corey Dickert, on the Innovation Overload podcast. And there was a quote that he said. It was, "Innovation is more of an aspiration and a compass that you set out there to guide your actions." And I think that's so true at Milwaukee Tool. Innovation is something we take extremely serious. It's part of everything we do. For us, it's really about listening to the contractor. It's about understanding. It's about thinking about how can we take a risk, how can we take a task, a workflow, and make every piece in that process safer and more efficient. For us, we don't want to just provide a crimping tool. We want to look at the entire task and look at how can we improve each step in that task. And that's really what helped put us at where we're at today with the electrical contractor.
It really does define partnership, doesn't it? And, I'm curious to know, how important has this NECA relationship been to you guys? What have you got out of the relationship? And also, what have some of the NECA contractors as well? I think it provides an invaluable way for you to truly understand and hear the voices of the people who are using your products on the front line. Is this a partnership that has really changed the way that you connect with customers?
This partnership is really the catalyst of how we interact with an electrical contractor. And it's really helped shape the way we work with other trade organizations by really being that premier partnership. If you look at the partnership that we have with the association, from our group president, Steve Richman, to our executive VP, Bill Hughes and Scott Tison, these guys really have led the path to providing all these connections with the premier partners, and we've really been able to form a lot of friendships that have helped shape the way we view and do things today. As much as we think it's a value add, our goal as an organization is to make sure we're driving value to the contractor, to the chapters. We've got a team of reps across the country that really want to stay engaged, that listen, that understand, that are able to provide trainings and provide support to the chapters and the local contractors. It's this engagement that really makes it a beneficial partnership both ways.
Speaking of engagement, Joel, look, you're a people person. I'm a people person. I don't know about you. I am dying to get back inside the room to actually meet our stakeholders, to meet our partners, to have a coffee, something maybe a little bit stronger, perhaps, if we're lucky, if we're good. Of course, we're doing a great job, and NECA's working really hard to do world-class virtual events. But how important is the event calendar for not only for networking, but just getting an opportunity to catch up with some important contacts, some important stakeholders, suppliers, and customers? I'm sure you're dying to get back onto the road in the same way that I am.
Yeah, in-person events certainly help pave a path of making connections and really help to build what we're doing and help to validate the type of support that we're giving the industry. So we're looking forward to the in-person events. One of the things that we say at Milwaukee is that our people are our most powerful resource. And if you've ever been to any of the events in person, you can feel that culture, you can feel that passion on display. And these in-person events really help us build our brand and help us get out there and build existing relationships, but it also gives us the opportunity to continue to connect and make those new connections as we move forward. So we're looking forward to being back together in person. I'm excited for Nashville, and I think most of the viewers here today are also excited.
Oh, I can assure you, I will be first in line. I will have custom-made boots. I have been vaccinated to within an inch of my life. Honestly, I don't think I can get anything. I won't be sick for 25 years now at this point, Joel. But, I am curious, inside Milwaukee, how have you guys embraced virtual? How effective has that been? How good has it been? Has it changed the way that you'll meet in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for any company, first and foremost, the safety of our employees and our customers is paramount. So, when this all started, our leadership team took a real step and ensured the safety of our team members, both at our corporate office and our team members in the field. And, I would say last year, even with the challenges, we were probably more productive than we've ever been. I think one of the things that this virtual experience really teaches us is that we don't have to be everywhere at once. And, our culture, we want to make sure that we're out there and we're building relationships and we're providing best-in-class service. But, the virtual atmosphere has taught us that we can still provide a high level of service virtually as another component to that in-person connection.
One thing that I know that every single event that I've attended with NECA over the course of the last number of years that I've been involved, Milwaukee is always a central part. It's almost like you're part of the personality and DNA of the trade show floor. If Milwaukee wasn't there, I'm just not sure that I would even recognize the space. And I know that across this year, you're going to be involved virtually in NECA Now, in the NECA Safety Professionals Conference, but also, of course, in Nashville as well. How excited are you for this year's slate of events, and what will Milwaukee be bringing to the table?
Yeah, we're excited to certainly be in person later this year, but we're also excited at the opportunity to connect virtually with NECA Now and the Safety Professionals Conference. In terms of NECA Now, we've got some exciting content to deliver. Shane Mall, our president of Power Tools, is going to be talking about our culture and how we really keep it going. We've also sponsored Mike Rowe's closing session, which we're really excited about because he continues to be an advocate for trade-based careers and apprenticeship, and it really aligns well with what we do at Milwaukee Tool. The first 200 people who stop by our booth are going to receive signed copies of his book. And then we're also going to be able to virtually connect. You're going to be able to win some prizes throughout the 2 days of the event next week. In terms of the National Safety Professionals Conference, we're sponsoring and presenting with the NECA team the Safety Ambassador Award, which we're really excited about. This will be our second year sponsoring that award, and it's really something that we take a lot of pride in. We're also going to be doing 2 education sessions brought to you by our National Safety Manager, Rafael Shamas, and then sponsoring our safety leadership track at the conference. In terms of the convention and trade show, I don't want to let too many secrets out, but we are going to be there in full force. We are certainly excited to get together in Nashville. I think the conversations that we've been having with the team at NECA is we really want this to be a reunion. You know, it's been far too long since we had a chance to see some of our top customers, our top partners, and see our friends in the industry. So we're really looking forward to that in-person show in Nashville.
Do you know what? If it's going to be a reunion, maybe we should all bring our yearbook pictures. Now, we don't have them in Ireland, but I could pull out some hideous, ugly one of me, 16, 17, 18 years of age. I realize, Joel, you're looking at me now. You can't possibly imagine that I ever looked geeky and weird, but I can assure you that would be a hell of a yearbook picture. I promise you. Well, Joel, one last question. For anyone listening who maybe hasn't attended a virtual event before because they're not sure if it's going to be as valuable, as useful, and they're looking at NECA now and thinking that it might just be a good fit for them, what would you say?
I think the virtual events that NECA and the team have assembled have really driven a lot of value. I participated in the Women in NECA Future Leaders Conference a couple weeks ago, and the lineup of presenters and the topics that they had to really share with the attendees, frankly, I thought were first class. You had trained professionals that were able to take you through some of the toughest topics when it comes to leadership, when it comes to diversity, when it comes to technology. NECA now certainly won't be or will be another example of a great event that we're able to participate in virtually. The thing that I like the most about some of these virtual events are, it allows you to really pick and choose what you want to see that day, but then you can also come back and you have access to the information following the show. And certainly at an in-person convention or at an in-person event, that's challenging to see that content following. So that's one of the big, I think, values that some of these virtual events have. It gives you the opportunity to visit the content and actually share the content with your company or your organization.
So true. The impact can be so much bigger when you go virtual. And keep an eye out, everyone, for our plans for Nashville, because we are going hybrid. So even if you can't make it there in the room, and we want you there in the room, but even if you can't make it in the room, we've got an amazing experience planned for you. Joel, thank you so much to you and everyone at Milwaukee for being a great premier partner all the way since 2009. And I cannot wait to see you virtually for a little cocktail in Gatherley at NECA Now next week.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Take care, Joel. I'll see you then. And a big thanks to all of you for joining us here at NECA Live. It is always wonderful to get the opportunity to catch up with you. We look forward to seeing you at NECA Now, but also in Nashville this October and at any of the virtual events between now and then. The relationship between NECA and Milwaukee has been an incredible one for both sides. And thanks to every single one of you for coming back every week and seeing us here every single Monday. And you know what's coming next week is NECA Now. It is almost here, and this one, I promise you, I cannot wait. I will be there for you every single day. I will be your MC, your host, your Sherpa. My job will be to guide you through all of the festivities. And we have got some incredible things planned. We've got world-class speakers. We've got breathtaking education sessions and networking like no one else does at a virtual event in the industry. You name it, and it will be there. I will be there. All of NECA's premier partners will be there. Leaders from across the industry as well as inside NECA will be there. And you should be there too. So right now, go to necanow.com to register right this second and get access to this one-of-a-kind NECA event. And I will see you back here for another NECA Live really soon.
It's time to get excited for NECA Now, the industry's premier Executive Leadership Conference, April 13th and 14th. We can't wait to provide you the incredible value of top quality education and networking. We have 32 education sessions on leadership, innovation, and diversity and inclusion. Choose your topics and watch live or at a time that works best for you. And don't miss out on our nationally known plenary speakers, including Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs and Marcus Lemonis of CNBC's The Profit. I promise this, you'll feel more connected than ever, and we can't wait to see you there.